Alright, this is another example of the game Math-sive attack. So basically, you can shuffle two decks of cards together. After you shuffle the two decks of cards together, each person gets half the deck, or however many people there are, you can split the deck accordingly. And then the person that deals splits the amount of cards and tries to make them even, and the other person gets to choose. Okay, he says that one might be a little bit better for him. So each person lays out their cards. And what happens next is that my opponent is going to have to add in this direction. I will add in this direction. The person with the greater value, this is a form of war. So the person that has the greater value gets to take the cards and a 20-card bounty, or whatever the people want to decide on. I think 20 cards is nice when you're working with two decks, because the game will end a little bit faster than if you take a smaller bounty. So what happens is every face card becomes a 10, and every joker becomes 20. And what happens is, as you calculate the 5 cards across, you start with addition, then subtraction, then multiplication, and then division. So to start off with, I would say 7 plus 8 equals 15, minus 10 equals 5. Times 10 is 50. So 5 times 10 is 50, divided by 1 is still 50. So what's your value?
So I have 7 plus 1 equals 8, and then 8 minus 9 is negative 1, and then negative 1 times 8 equals negative 8. Negative 8 divided by 3 equals 2.6 bar.
Yeah, you could say it in decimal form, or you could say it in fraction form, which would be 2 2/3. And you said that was negative 2 2/3, or negative 2 6 bar, which he calculated it correctly. I have the greater value. Now say, for example, I made a mistake in my calculation, and he called me on it. He'd be able to steal the win, even though he had a much lower value. Okay, he has as long as it takes to calculate it. Everyone else at the table could also help him to calculate it if they wish. So I won that hand. So he pays me a bounty of 20 cards, because that's what we decided upon. So I'm going to take this stack of cards, and that'll be worth 10. I'm not going to mix them back in with my deck, because I might have to use it as a bounty later on, or as part of a bounty. So he's going to pay me 20 cards. It doesn't matter what cards they are, really. So I'm going to take my 2 cards right here and keep them on my side. That's a stack of 20, and that's a stack of 10, and I'm going to use those as a bounty later on if he happens to win the next hand. So here I go. Okay, now what you can do is use this game as a way of explaining out the order of operations, because you always do your addition and subtraction before you do your multiplication and division. Also, it's just the order. The way to remember it is the order in which you learned your multiplication operation, or your mathematic operations. Usually you learn your addition before your subtraction, and then after that is multiplication and then division. So 10 plus 2 is 12, minus 10 is 2, times 7 is 14. 14 divided by 6 is 2, and let's see, 14 divided by 6 is 2, and 6 or 2 1/3. Okay. Did I get that correct? I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, your turn.
5 plus 7 is 12. Minus 6 is 6. Times 7 is 42. Divided by 10 is 4.2.
Okay, so my value is still greater than yours? Oh, wait a minute. No, your value is greater than mine, because yours is 4.2,
Yeah.
and mine was 2 1/3, right? So you get it this time. And so the benefit of me keeping my stacks over here is that here's your bounty. You get the 20 cards back. And So where's your bounty stacks? Here, it's this one. So you have, and this is a 10 stack. So later on, he could add a stack of 10 to that, and then be able to use that as a bounty of 20 as well.
What is this game?
This game is Math-sive Attack.
I only know how to do it.
Math-sive Attack. Alright, so he's actually very good. He hasn't made any mistakes yet, but if he made a mistake, I would win a bounty off of him, even if I had the lower value. So 4 plus 2 is 6, minus 7 is negative 1, times 6 is negative 6, divided by 10 is negative 6/10.
3 plus 4 equals 7, minus 9 equals negative 2, times 2 equals negative 4, divided by 4 is negative 1?
Yeah. Did he get that right?
Yeah, negative 4 over 4.
I was still trying to remember my negative 6/10. You had negative, what? You had negative, what?
Negative 4.
Okay, so
Negative 1.
negative 1. So negative 0.6 is greater than negative 1. So actually my value is higher than yours.
Okay. Negative 6? What?
Negative 0.6.
I said negative.
I said negative 0.6 or negative 6/10.
Yeah,
Negative 6/10. So mine's is higher than your value, so I get it. Yay! For me. Did I say negative 6?
Huh?
I thought I said negative 6/10. No, you
Yeah,
got it.
negative 0.6 or something.
I said negative 0.6. Okay. Let's go again.
Whoa.
Okay, so what do you got over here? You still got a stack of 10s for later on to pay me? Now I got 2 stacks of 20 over here for later. Alright, so 8 plus 1 is 8 minus 9. No, 8 plus 1 is 9. I almost screwed up. 8 plus 1 is 9. Minus 9 is 0. Times, once that happens, I know I'm going to end up with a value of 0. But I could still win if he gets a number that is negative. So I'm not worried about it. Okay, 0 times 4 is 0, divided by 10 is still 0. Your turn.
Let's see. 10 plus 2 equals 12, minus 10 equals 2, times 10 equals 20, divided by 10 equals 2.
Okay, you got me. Here, let's keep these that way. That way they can see how much you're either leading. And so now he's got 2 stacks of 20 for his bounty stacks. See, this game could go on forever, but we'll just do one more hand, just as another example of how to play the game. We could stop this game at any time. Whoever has the most at the time that the game should be over wins. If everybody has about the same, then it's a tie. So, this should decide it, though, because we're both about equal. Okay. Ace, or 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 minus 10 is negative 2. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Negative 8 divided by 9 is... What? I gotta go again. Okay, ace, or 1 plus 7 is 8. I got negative 2 after this, because 8 minus 10 is negative 2. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Negative 8 divided by 9 is negative... Wow, can we even do... Okay. So complicated. I don't even know if I can do that. I need a piece of paper. Do you have this for me? Why don't you help me calculate it?
No, I don't think I can get that.
You can't get that?
No.
Alright, do we need a piece of paper? Or a calculator? Alright, negative 8 minus 9. Or negative 8 divided by 9. Come on, somebody in the house help me. Negative 8 divided by 9 without a calculator. Point something. 0.8? Some 0.8 something. Negative 0.8 something. Because it's a negative. All right, we ended up with a situation here where it was -8 divided by 9. In stuck situations like that where nobody can come up with the answer, you could use a calculator or ask for some help from someone else, and they said it was -0.8 or something like that, which I'm sure that is probably correct because I don't know any better. Okay, your turn.
Okay, I have 10 plus 10 equals 20, and then minus 8 minus 10 equals 10 times 10 equals 100, and then divided by 5 equals 20.
Okay, so the bottom line is his 20 would have trumped whatever I had over here anyway, so sometimes it just helps to calculate the other one since everybody is having difficulty with the calculation, except for my bystander over here. Okay, so he's got that one. We'll give it to him, which means I owe him 20. He gets the pot and he gets 20. And so now he wins because we're going to stop this game right here.